What's going on, friends? The first round of Harley-Davidson motorcycles for 2025 has been released. Now, the only thing that's come out so far is the returning Road King Special, the Street Glide, and the Road Glide. Now, guys, with the 2025 models, there's some things about these that actually give me some hope for Harley-Davidson. Maybe they're going to kind of start getting back to what they used to be. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think that hope that I have is probably going to be pretty short-lived when we get into this video. Harley-Davidson might actually be somewhat starting to listen to its customers finally after all of these years, except when it comes to the price. And when I tell you guys the prices on these bikes with the options, you're going to see why I say let these motorcycles rot for 2025. Now, for 2025, the Harley-Davidson models are probably exactly what you'd be expecting. The same motorcycles for the new model year with some minimal updates and some color changes. Now, it is those color changes that are what gives me some hope for Harley-Davidson that they're going to get back to what they used to be, but you're going to pay for it. The new 2025 models look great. But guys, I want to see if you can tell me if somewhere in here, how do we justify the price on these motorcycles? Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, starting with the Road Glide Special, it is back for 2025. Pretty much the exact same motorcycle, different colors. Still get the 114 engine. They haven't given it the 117 treatment just yet. Now, of course, Billiard Gray is the standard color that you're not going to get charged extra for. Now, $25,749 for Billiard Gray. And now, if you want one that's black to go with those black finishes, you're looking at an additional $500. Now, with black being an additional $500, if you want the new color Whiskey Fire, which kind of looks like from what I've seen in the pictures, it's kind of an orange-red color, but it's going to run you an additional $200, so $700-800 extra on top of the original MSRP for the bike. So I guess the good thing with the Road King Special this year is that they're absolutely not charging you anything extra for the blacked out finishes on the bike. So if you're interested in the new Road King Special, we're looking at $26,500 out the door with the blacked out finishes with the top color option. Now, that's before they add on any additional fees, including your tag, tax, title, and then additional dealer fees like a prep fee, a roof fee, a restroom fee, whatever fee that they could dream up to tag on to your purchase price. Now, last year's 2024 models with the updated Road Glide and Street Glide, I really didn't feel like that was a bad deal at about $26,000 given the 117 engine, all the upgrades. I mean, that engine's 105 horse, and I think they're advertising about 130 foot-pounds of torque. Split the difference, a lot of new features, all the updates for 26 grand. I didn't feel like that was too bad of a deal, but I knew in my heart that the next year when these bikes rolled back out, things were going to get pretty ugly, and they have. Now, if you want to get the Street Glide with just the Billiard Gray and the chrome finishes, you're looking at $27,749. Yeah, that's about $1,800 more than it was last year. Yeah, and as always, don't worry, if you want a Road Glide, it just gets worse. For a Billiard Gray Road Glide with chrome finishes, you're looking at $27,999. They're actually charging an extra $250 on the Road Glide, which was the same price as the Street Glide last year. Now, what's killing me here is this is the territory of what the Road Glide and Street Glide ST were. These were the performance baggers from Harley-Davidson from just a few years ago. These bikes had taller suspension, a lot of little performance goodies on them, high performance air intake, and the 117 engine. Now, of course, that was on the older platform, but we're still in the same territory as what those bikes cost, and these are just for the standard models in 2025. Now, while you're paying $250 more if you want to get a Road Glide, the good news is that the upcharge for the blacked out finishes and the paint colors, well, depending on which one you choose, is the exact same as the Street Glide, just an additional $200 for the Road Glide model. Now, I do have to say, Harley-Davidson really is kind of bringing back some of the glory days in paint on some of these models this year. Now, to get into a Street Glide with blacked out finishes, you're looking at a $1,350 upcharge to get the blacked out finishes. Now, of course, if you go ahead and choose black paint, if you don't like that Billiard Gray, that is going to be an additional $600, bringing your total cost for that bike before all the fees are added on to $29,700. Now, of course, the other solid color options are going to be $850 on both the Street Glide and the Road Glide. So even with additional color options, black is $600, additional solid colors are $850. You're still getting out a little bit under $30K when it comes to the Street Glide and right on the borderline with the Road Glide. Now, I've been mentioning that Harley-Davidson's getting back to their glory days of paint. They do have some slick-looking models this year, but trust me, you're going to pay for that slick-looking paint. Harley-Davidson is bringing back the flames this year with the Whiskey Firestorm and the Midnight Firestorm. And I do have to admit, with the blacked out finishes, that Midnight Firestorm is slick. But how good does it look for an additional $2,900 on top of the base price? Choosing one of these colors on a Street Glide is going to bring the price up to $30,649, and if you choose to go with the Road Glide in either one of these colors, you're looking at $30,849. Now, choosing any one of these colors on a Street Glide, the price is going to be $30,649 or $30,899 for the Road Glide. Now, guys, I don't even know what to say about this. That's a lot of money for basically the standard Street Glide and Road Glide, but albeit they do have the big motor and they do have a lot of tech features in them, and those colors look really good, but not for that kind of money for me personally. I mean, as slick as the paint looks on these new touring models this year, I say let them rot for that kind of money. I can't justify it. Maybe you can. Costs are really up on Harley-Davidson models this year, and if you guys have been out to the dealers, you probably are well aware that they are still pretty packed full of the 2024 models and maybe even some 2023 models. So guys, if you can maybe sacrifice on the color a little bit, you might be able to save yourself a big chunk of change and get a 24 or 23 model at a pretty heavily discounted price. Who knows, you might even run into a 22 model out there and get it at a steal for a new Harley if that's what you're in the market for. Biggest problem is that Harley-Davidson is kicking out these new models to the dealers, and they've got motorcycles on the floor, brand new ones that are getting ready to have a birthday. And I don't know if you've ever been involved in the motorcycle business and sales, that's not a good thing. Now, with the prices this year that we've already seen on the touring line, I can't even imagine what the Softail line and the new Sportsters are going to cost. Not to mention the CVOs, or we get into the Ultras, or whatever else they got up their sleeve. I imagine that it's going to be unimaginably expensive for what it is when it comes to the brand new Harleys. I would honestly anticipate this year's CVO models and the touring bikes, these things are probably literally going to be north of $50,000 without their fancy color option. And to me, that's just unimaginable. So maybe one day Harley-Davidson is going to finally break down and decide that, hey, we need to do something about the price, get the cost down, and start selling these bikes in volume instead of selling just a few motorcycles and making more on each one. I always thought from day one when that plan was announced that that's not a really good long-term solution here. But guys, let me know down in the comments, how do you feel about the cost of the new Harley-Davidsons? I think it's just beyond ridiculous right now, but I want to hear from you and what your thoughts are on that. And also, do you think Harley-Davidson's finally going to have to break down, cave in, lower the price so they can start moving more units and quit this I'm just going to make more money on each unit sold business? But anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.